Sunny General I pass through. Give me little space, make me dolly pass you. I'm in afraid figure grab up the mic and slow. Come steaming up like a ital slow. General you want see a general you know. First class DJ, my well phenomenon. I'm a ram up when they dance with microphone in a me hand. But if a real general Selassie, I the only one I listen to. I conquering lion, I'm from the land of King Solomon. Reign and the rule over Ethiopian. Reign with the living now, cause the covenant more than the dwellings of Jacob and Abraham. So the Lord God love it, holy Mount Zion. From Queen of Sheba comes David second. Don't notify the Vatican and
we'll tell the people uptown, tell them, and the one them downtown. The general come roll, string up your big
bad sound.
Nothing ever come down, go. I know me alone, go. Burning like a fire. General come round.
General come around, come round. Now make me wait when me come for me crown. You city act like a Kingston town. Zion a burn like a sun come down. Trumpet loud like a stone love sound. Tongue confess every knee bow down. Tell everything where you claim them a king for leave.
All right, folks, we are back, and it is time for our interview in our Business in Focus segment here on Platinum FM 97.9. So, good morning. In the studio with us, we have Rasta from the Nyah-Versity. Good morning.
Yes, greetings, salutation to His Benevolent Majesty.
Project your voice a little bit more.
Haile Selassie.
Yes.
And greetings to all ones, all the listeners and viewers. And yes, I'm on his Rasta and I'm just here to basically launch my YouTube channel, Nyah-Versity. And so I'll be just discussing the whole project here with Sister Soldier.
All right, so Miss Ras, I was about to say Mr. Isern, but Ras Isern, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What it is that you do? What do you champion? What is your purpose here on this earth with us?
Actually, well, this project really is a Rastafari focus project for the most part. So, you know, I a Rasta youth, so to speak. I man come forward around the turn of the 90s, 1990s. You're seeing out of, you know, an experience that I have. You know, I met a young Rasta brethren, and he was relating some historic information about, you know, the Israelite of the Bible and the Egyptians were black people, and I refuted it on the basis that when you look in Israel today, all
white people you see.
You understand?
I have friends in Israel that are white, but I also know people from Israel who are our complexion as well.
Yeah. Well, I come to know that too after a while.
Yes.
But yes, the brethren put forward a reasoning to I, and I refuted it, so the brethren come and he loaned me a book to prove his point.
All right.
And it just so happened that the book was called The Rastafarians.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yes.
But it was a history book though, and basically give you a chronological breakdown of history from ancient time, from before slavery.
Okay.
And just kind of show you the whole movement through history, come right down to the rising of Marcus Garvey. And then just show, well, you know, Rastafari came out of the Marcus Garvey movement.
Got you.
Understand?
Got you.
So after going through that experience,
change your life.
Yeah, because for the first time now I'm realizing that there's substance to these people they call Rasta and so on in terms of what they're defending.
Okay.
I grew up as a youth up on Cooks Hill overlooking jungle. Jungle is where Rasta had a community during the 70s and so on. And I used to, as a youth man, watch when police go and raid jungle and so on and shot fire down there in the valley and so on.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm married on the hill, look down at this thing like a movie, you understand? And apart from that, there were there's quite a few Rasta in Grey Hill.
Okay.
And I grew up in the Grey Hill area. They used to come through with crackers bag on their shoulder without shirt and differences. And you know, everybody in the community does just view them as people who smoke dope and worthless in their bush.
True.
And here is it now, reading this history book now, just give me a totally different picture. And basically, as I say, just show that there's substance to what these guys are dealing with. They're defending a worthy cause, an African cause.
So was it like slowly over time you made the changes in your life, or it was just like a revelation right away and you just immediately started to follow
Actually, it
Rasta?
was more or less immediate, because after realizing that there's substance to what these people dealing with, and everybody beat up them out on the Rasta and them and differences, I might take a certain empathy towards Rasta then, and I kind of almost make a vow within that moment to join this movement and to help them to defend their cause. Like, I was thinking as an outsider at that point, going in to help with the cause, you understand, and seeing that it was these books that I was reading that brought me the understanding about what Rasta all about. Is like I just stuck to reading more and more books and just educate myself. Because to me, to help them to fight this battle, so to speak, I would have to equip myself with knowledge. I have to do it via knowledge.
What you're doing,
I fist this thing out.
Yeah.
You gotta go, and when people challenge what Rasta is all about and so forth, then you have knowledge to defend the cause.
Yes.
And so my journey was pretty much about just constantly reinforcing knowledge in myself and just grow through the years.
Okay.
And I've now reached the point now that I'm just ready to take on a project in terms of putting out what my experience
was like, so you can help others find their way in Rasta.
Also, and that, and also just like, putting my contribution on the table.
Got you.
Because to me, the experience itself has been good to me.
All right.
Build self-esteem and self-confidence in me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm just giving back via this project, really.
All right. So that is a pretty nice rundown of who you are and what got you to this point. So Nyah-Versity, I am assuming Nyah from the word Nyah-Bingi.
Correct.
And Versity from the word university, and
yes,
you put them together and you get Nyah-Versity. So
real.
That's a pretty dope name. So what inspired you to get this project going? Like, when did you have this light bulb and eureka moment? Like, you know what? I am ready to start my YouTube channel.
Actually,
what happened?
It was basically at the end of a whole stream of research. And at this point, I would just like to big up Rasquamai in New Jersey. This I man, like, brother. You understand?
Got you.
Not blood brother, but I mean, he is like a brother to me, you understand? We grew together in Rastafari and so forth, and we do the research together, you know what I mean? Play devil advocate to make sure we're covering all things, question from different angles, to ensure that any question that we confront in terms of the information we're going to put out,
you have
that
an
we
answer.
can defend it, you understand? Very important.
Yes.
We don't want to drag the king name through the mud by putting up ignorant argument and conversation.
Got you.
We want to be intelligent like the king and put forward something that worthy of the king
something
name.
Of substance. Got
yes,
you.
I.
All right.
So we have researched a number of things, mythology, the history of the Bible, and a whole set of stuff. And I started coming out on Raskidemi's program, Mystic Vibration, and putting out some of these information.
Okay.
And, some of it wasn't well received in the community. I think it's good information for Rastafari, period.
Yes.
You understand? But some of it was not well received. I don't believe it was because they were bad information necessarily, but because ones may not have grown to that point of appreciating the information, because that's the way it is. Even I coming through, things that one will tell me and it sound like sense, and only 3 years afterwards that it really resonates. You really come to a point of appreciation of what I've been taught. You understand? So I understand that it's a journey.
Yes.
But my initial move was to go to the Nyah-Bingi house with this information. And it's trying to do that and seeing the kind of reaction that I was getting.
Okay.
For the same reason I just point out to you.
Yes.
That actually caused me to come to the point that, listen, I can't just, pack all of this thing up and throw it in a bag somewhere in the back. I have to find a way to put it out.
Yeah, you have to create that platform where
Yes.
others can see all
Yes.
of your research and you can help them understand.
Exactly.
Right.
Because it's kind of difficult if you go to the bingy house and then you raise something that become very sensitive for ones and you start get a whole lot of reaction, and that basically distort the whole process, so you don't get to really articulate the information in a way that ones can appreciate that, hey, this is really good information. Really.
Got you.
So I decide, well, I'm going to create a way of putting it out, so when the ones get time now to see the fullness of it, that will bring them around to really appreciate what exactly we're doing. And because some of the information very sensitive, as I say, because particularly when it comes to the subject of mythology, it becomes very, very sensitive with some of the things that we're going to bring out.
Okay.
And once, because of our education religiously, in that we interpret things from the Bible literally, what they call exoteric interpretation.
Yes.
Then when you come and you say that these things were mythology, it becomes very troubling, very disturbing to one's mind.
Yes.
You understand? But then, you see, when I confronted the information, it was disturbing for me too. But what it caused me to do is ask certain questions.
So you can become clear.
Exactly. Because I say, listen, myth means something that is not real. And generally speaking, something is not real is really of little or no value at all.
Yeah.
You understand
if it's
what
not
I'm saying?
real, yeah.
So I was saying, no. If these stories are mythology, then why do they affect even me so much?
Yeah.
Because I come to believe in these stories and everything and going along with that, and I grow. I have deeper revelation and all these things. So I say, no. There have to be something more to mythology, more than just
There has
falsehood.
to be more significance to it.
You understand?
Yes.
So then I go and I start studying mythology now to understand what mythology was all about.
Got
You
you.
understand? And then I realized exactly what was going on. You understand?
Yes.
And so I continued the journey, and it carried me into some deep waters, even just how the whole subject of history came about and so forth.
And
You
the history that
understand?
they're teaching us here in the Caribbean.
Yeah, let me
Not
tell
our
you,
real history.
a lot of what we learn as history, world history,
Come from
is
Europe.
really tradition. It is not actual. Because the first stories or history of every nation is mythology.
Okay.
Because they use mythology to establish their value system.
Yes.
The value system on which the nation will be based on. You
And then
understand?
they create religion and all these things
All
out
these
of
things,
that.
everything come out of that.
Yes.
You understand? Because, check even with human history. Before we reach the point that human being reach the point of even creating a language, a written language.
Yes.
What and even concept of God.
Yes.
How do we used to relate to
To
this
each
entity?
other.
To this God entity. You understand? So the first man who came up with some notion of it, what he did was to create stories.
Okay.
Because stories create picture in people's mind.
Yes.
And it helps people to understand better, because a lot of these things that
And
you'll
you
be
learn the
relating
lessons through the stories.
through the stories.
Yeah.
Like Bernancy teach value.
Yes.
You
But the
understand?
stories are usually
But
funny.
No, it's fictional.
Yeah.
You understand? But it convey a very profound
Message got you.
And that's the same thing that mythology does.
Okay.
Anyone in the listening of my voice can check out guys like Joseph Campbell. You can't put mythology in Google and David Campbell name not come up. You understand? He's one of the foremost when it comes to mythological studies. You understand? I end up got a book written by Joseph Campbell called The Power of Myth.
Yes.
That helped me to understand, and then I study some other individual also on the subject.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To make sure that I'm grasping this thing properly.
Got you.
You understand? So we'll be bringing out a lot of information. We'll be doing videos on mythology. We'll be looking at history, how history came about. As I say, the first history of every nation is basically mythology. The kings of Europe and so on, King Frederick and so on, from Germany and so on, his whole family lineage
Yes.
is mythology.
Oh, wow.
It is created by a guy they call Johannes Reuchlin.
Okay.
You understand? So, this is a story for just about all royal families. Some of these royal family chase their lineage back to gods who are mythical figures.
Got you.
You understand?
Yes.
But we in the modern time, we will not appreciate that because history have changed
Yes.
over time.
And then the people who distribute the history, they decide what they want to tell us and how they want to put it to us.
And they
for their
decide
own agenda.
what would be accepted as history and what will not be accepted as history.
Yes.
A point I want to make now, at this point in time, as opposed to when the discipline was first created around the 14th, 15th century.
Yes.
Because the discipline of history was created around 14th, 15th century, when they were creating curriculum for educating Europe generally. Because before this guy Martin Luther King made some protests to the Roman Catholic system, when he nailed 95 theses and the church door in Germany, or the Roman Catholic church door in Germany, they did not have education for the general masses. It's only people in royal families and certain church members, high elite members of the church system, that actually had any knowledge, can read anything.
Got you.
You understand? So they created the discipline of history around the 14th, 15th century. And it was around that time now that progressively into now, history really changed. Right now, if an event happened yesterday, you cannot come and write about it a month afterwards and write some kind of mythology and it pass, because you'll have so many people that will witness to the event or have knowledge of the event that can refute whatever you're saying.
Yes.
But back then when they were creating history, nobody was there to refute anything.
Got you.
You understand?
Yes.
So it get a pass.
Yes.
You understand? So history is really very different now. If you look up, there's a guy they call Van Rank. His first name is just losing me a bit. Oh yeah, Leopold Van Rank.
Yes.
And he is known to be the father of modern history. He is the guy that brought in certain scientific method of verifying what is history and so on and so forth. There were other individuals as well too that contribute to that whole movement. But history over time changed as they introduced new technology, new criteria for validating what will pass as history.
Okay.
And these things happen years now after they would have instituted the discipline. You understand?
All right.
Yeah.
So, sounds good. Quite a mouthful, but it sounds like something that I personally would look into too as well. But before we get a little bit deeper into the channel, when you're gonna launch and things like that, really quickly, because I'm outside, I have dreads. People see me all the time and assume that I'm a Rasta, and I have to let them know it's just the hairstyle. From the little that I know of Rasta, though, I must say I respect their lifestyle, and there are things that they practice that I too, kind of incorporate into my own life. So, one thing that I always notice, I always hear about Nyah-Versity and Bobo. Like, what's the difference, and like, why did you choose Nyah-Versity as your camp per se, if that's the right word?
Okay, well, there weren't really much choice to it, Antigua is a place that really, we don't have the three basic sect in Rastafari.
Which
the 12 tribe, Bobo, Nyah-Versity.
Okay.
But Nyah-Versity has always been what Antigua is all about, generally speaking. When I was coming forward, there was one brethren that I know was a Bobo Shanti. He didn't have like a fellowship or other Bobos. A brethren that does move between Antigua and the Virgin Islands down in Point area. So Raskidemi is probably the foremost Bobo Shanti brethren in Antigua. You know what I mean?
And what's the difference between Bobo and Nyah-Versity?
Well,
I know there are probably a lot of differences.
Yeah, there's certain basic, difference in terms of the religious.
Cover the surface a bit.
Yeah, just certain difference in the religious philosophy of the Bobo Shanti.
Okay.
You understand? And certainly they cover their head as a form of reverence.
Okay.
In prayer, for example. So everywhere you see the Bobo Shanti, you have his turban, for example.
Okay. Okay.
The Nyah-Bingi, where that is concerned, is the opposite.
Okay.
So when you come into the Bingi house, for example, you have to remove your crown from your head, you remove your hat.
Okay.
And so on and so forth. You understand?
Got you. All right.
Bobo, one important difference with the Bobo is that they symbolically recognize the Trinity in the person of Haile Selassie as the king.
Okay.
Marcus Garvey as the prophet.
Okay.
And King Emmanuel as, well, High Priest Emmanuel, because he represents the priest in that Trinity.
Yes.
You understand? So priest, prophet, and king.
Okay.
You understand? Symbolically within these three persons. In Nyah-Bingi, we recognize these three qualities within Haile Selassie himself.
Okay.
Because His Majesty sit as a king.
He was a prophet.
He's a prophet and he's a priest after the order of Melchizedek.
Yes. All right.
You see, priest, prophet, and king on the throne as one,
Okay.
in one person.
Okay.
So the Nyah-Bingi is more along that line,
Okay.
you know, in terms of our religious philosophy.
All right.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you guys get along well and do things together. The two tribes.
Well, it wasn't always so, you know. There
Difference in
usually were
opinions.
differences,
Yeah.
you understand, because you might have certain people, for example, within the Bingi community, just, you know, we like wonder, well, how the Bobos, and then just get up and make Prince Emmanuel into the Black Christ and all of this thing, and you know, man resistant to that, because within Rasta, within the Nyah-Bingi, the Black Christ is His Majesty.
Yes.
You know, as we go by the biblical rhetoric, His Majesty is the second coming. Christ in His kingly character, garnet silk.
Yes.
That, you understand? So when the Bobos will suggest now that the Black Christ is actually Emmanuel, then the Bobos will, the Nyah-Bingi will have a different opinion about that.
Okay.
And you used to have different ones, and so Kidem, he go through his little struggles with ones and ones, attacking him over this thing and so on. But we grow.
Yes.
And we mature.
Exactly.
You know, and we rise above the differences. So right now, Kidemi will come out to Ras Freeman, for example, and he's fully embraced. He comes in, he sits in meetings and makes suggestions for us to
That's really nice.
program together. Yeah. So
Sounds
we grow,
good.
you know, we grow and we mature, you know.
Sounds good.
So it's all good.
So back to Nyah-Versity. Where did the name come from? You were just sitting down one day and you're like, that sounds good.
Yeah, well, first I used to chat under the name of Upper Room Reasoning and Meditation. In fact, I had a radio program on Variety Radio called the Upper Room Reasoning and Meditation.
Yes.
You understand? And then after going through the whole historic research, and then now, you know, you're coming to the awareness that this brand, you know, this Judeo-Christian brand is what the European themselves established.
Yes.
I started feeling a little way about chatting under that name, because that name was taken out to the New Testament.
Yes.
You understand? When the disciples were taken up into the upper room.
Yes.
You understand?
You got you.
So I decided, listen, I have to come up with something different, because I was leaning more towards the Kemetic order.
Yes.
You understand? Hence my protocol, Pata, Neta, Anra, Haile Selassie, and so forth.
All right.
So, I don't know, I was over by the Queen. I don't know if you know Queen's Royal Cheat.
Yes,
over at
Aisha.
Langford.
I used to work with Aisha in media. She used to write for the Antigua Sun. So we used to work together at Sun Printing and Publishing. Shout out to Aisha, because we've been talking about a project so long. You know, I want her to come on our radio program, and I want to do a show with her. Like, doesn't have to be too long, but yes, I know Aisha. And Aisha, if you're watching, hi. Hope you're doing well. And if you're listening, shout out to Queen's Treats. They're in what's behind there called?
Royal Cheat, Langford.
Right, Longford's over from the police station.
Yeah,
right,
the
the best vegan meals you can find on island. I should invite her to come and talk about Royal Queen Treats. So yes, she might be a guest next week once she have the time, because I'm not sure if she's prepping between 9 and 10. But yes, you were sitting with her.
Yeah, well, I was over there one day, and
Yes.
I'm thinking about the whole thing. I was actually in discussion with her actually.
Yeah,
And
she's
it
very
just
creative.
it just came to me, because I'm looking at this level of information as something above the biblical rhetoric that we are so accustomed to, that we basically push in the Nyah-Versity order.
Yes.
Because this thing take it much deeper. You understand, in terms of knowledge, because you're now going deeper to understand mythology, something that has been affecting you without you even knowing what's going on.
Of
You
course.
understand? So I wanted was to get into, these type of knowledge, which I consider to be even deeper knowledge, to build on the foundation that we already have in terms of what we teach in the Nyah-Versity order. And the idea just come to me to just, Nyah-Versity.
So you were eating, were you eating already? Were you already indulging in her food?
Not just yet, but I've been there from the beginning, I've been with her. I've been with her from the beginning, since she was operating from her house.
Home, okay.
You understand?
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I've been there for a long time. So I'm really accustomed to
All
her
right.
food and all the rest of it.
All right, so before we wrap up, because you pretty much gave us a rundown on what to expect on the channel, when do you hope to launch the actual channel? What date are you looking at?
Well, actually, I'm looking at tomorrow to do a
Nice.
soft launching.
Nice.
I specifically choose, I don't want to pass this occasion of His Majesty 129th anniversary.
Okay.
You understand?
The anniversary of
His birth.
his birth.
You
Okay.
understand?
All
So I
right.
did not want to pass this because there's symbology. You see, 129 numerologically equal 12. 9 plus 3.
Plus 1 is 12.
1 and 2
is 3.
3
and
plus
9,
9
12.
12.
12 tribes.
12 is the number of fulfillment.
Okay.
You understand?
All right.
So that's
I'm
the
learning,
symbology.
I'm learning this morning, and I hope our listeners are learning as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
12 is the number of fulfillment. 7 is the number of perfection.
Okay.
You understand?
Nice.
So this is the reason
So
why
you want
also
to do
in
a
scripture you find so much 7.
Okay.
7 seal and
Right.
all these things. You understand
So
this
the
number?
if persons want to be a part of that, they just have to go on YouTube literally and type in Nyah-Versity.
Yeah, NYA Versity.
All right, and would you be live, or is it a recording that you will be posting?
I will be posting a recording.
Okay.
But I believe I'm gonna air it
Live.
live.
Okay.
You know what they call it? Premiere.
Yes.
Premiere.
Right. Premiere it.
Yeah.
And what time are you thinking about?
That I have not fine-tuned yet. I
Okay.
believe this would most likely be in the afternoon though.
So what you guys can do, if you really, really want to watch it, go on YouTube right now and subscribe, because once you would have subscribed, when he makes his post about going live, you will get a notification and you will see the time when he decides what time he's going to go live, or when he's going to premiere the video. So make sure you go follow Nyah Versity on YouTube right now as we're speaking, so you can be notified.
Yes, I.
All right.
One more thing I'd like to mention about the platform.
Sure.
One of the things that I'm always interested in is for us to create chants.
Okay.
Nyah-Versity chants.
Okay.
Because in Rastafari we have adopted a number of Christian hymns that we have basically Rasticized. We just take out certain words and put in the Rasta words and so
Word
on.
sound power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to
you have
me,
to be careful about what you say.
sometimes the lyrics in these hymns really it locked us into a Christian kind of paradigm of thinking.
Okay.
You understand? Using these vocabularies and so
Right.
on that's inside
Word.
of these hymns. So
Because they're really words of affirmation that you're singing, you know, so you have to be conscious about what you're singing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I personally, think that we should create chants and speak it the way we Rasta vibes it.
Nice.
You understand? So when we put our lyrics in our chant, it is our vibration. It's not something we
Sounds
adopt
like a
from
next
the
project
Christian.
that you should look into.
Well, that's a project within the Nyah-Versity.
Nice, because there are a
called
lot
the
of
House of Chants.
there are a lot of good musicians in Rastafari too.
True.
Singers, people who play drums. You all can come together and maybe put together hymn book or whatever you guys, a chant book, not a hymn book, a chant book, and come up with some nice songs.
Well, you're just peeping the card, really.
Okay.
Because, as I said, this is a house of chant. This will be within the
Nyah-Versity. Nice.
House of chant. I'm going to have a team of individual that we write chant, we rehearse them.
Okay.
I'm going to be looking to you to do some recording for these productions. You understand? Make them really nice and so forth. So we're going to be doing that as a way of demonstrating even to the Nyah-Bingi community what we can do, what we can create. Because most time we don't have anyone in the Bingi that, you know, make it like their business, so to speak, to create chants and do stuff like that. So all the chant that we chant basically come from Jamaica.
Got you.
You understand? And I think that, listen, we have, you know, we
too much
plenty
resources, too much people.
We smoke plenty herb and have plenty people that have inspiration. I'm a musician too. Just I'm a pan musician.
Okay, I used to play the pan too. Double second is my pan.
See, I'm a double tenor player.
Double tenor, my bad.
It's double tenor.
Double tenor,
all right.
yes.
I'm a double tenor player as well, you know what I mean? Tour Europe and so several times with my band and so forth, you know, seasoning to that.
Nice.
You understand? As a matter of fact, I'll be using my instrument to help to organize the choir in terms of how we split the harmony.
Nice.
When we're doing the chants and so on. We want to make it professional.
Got you.
So that we can do recordings, as you were suggesting, and we can publish them.
And you can reach more people that way.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So anybody you want to shout out before we wrap up our interview this morning?
Well, I
remember this is going on the channel as well. So
yes. Well, yes, definitely. I would just like to send out big respect to the Big Creek Foundation, because the Big Creek where Iman really come up, Iman raise up around Elder Sagaifu, fierce, robust and strong, you understand? And also my brethren and sistren at Ras Freeman, respect to the whole community, you see. All members of family globally. South Africa, some great things happening there in South Africa. They have a very powerful and vibrant Rastafari movement. I mean, the numbers just swelling up down in these places. And I'm hoping to see those places as well. You understand? Carry the works even down into those places. You know, so I'll just like to big up all members of family Rastafari wise across the globe. You understand? And most of all, you know, my brethren, Rasquamai, who, you know, I do the research with. We do the research together and so on with, you know, all these material that will be coming out. And the Nyah-Versity, you know. Big respect. Also, big up Priest Isaac for his encouragement. I've been on Priest Isaac radio station, radio program, Mystic Vibration, also on his platform with the Tiger's Nest and so forth. He has a number of videos with me as well. And he's a person that really encouraged me in terms of going out and setting up my platform.
Shout
and so
out
on.
to
So big
Priest
respect
Isaac and the whole
to Priest Isaac still.
What's the name of Rastafari Experience Antigua? Shout out to Rasdre as well. Yeah.
Yes, likewise.
All right, so thank you so much for passing through. I really appreciated the talk and I learned so much today. As soon as you leave, I am going to go and subscribe to Nyah-Versity so I can get the notification for when you go live tomorrow. And I just want to wish you all the best on behalf of Platinum FM Pointville Communications and myself and my co-host Lee here at the Morning Med Show. Enough respect for passing through. We really appreciate it. And like I said, all the best on the Nyah-Versity.
Give thanks, Selassie bless.
All right. So folks, you heard it here. Ras Isern and the Nyah-Versity movement launches tomorrow. Make sure you go subscribe on YouTube. It was a pleasure having you here for the Morning Med Show on Platinum FM 97.9. Keep it locked, folks. Do not touch that dial. We're going to get into some music and we're going to end the show off. All right?